up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Matt Chat Live. I can't believe that we're on another Wednesday already. Hey, that's the crowd. I'm in a building with thousands of people around me right now, and you get to be a part of this show. So glad you're here today. Just kidding, obviously. All right, so last week was St. Patrick's Day, and my friend Elio was off because he was doing some incredible stuff. He has done some great work inside of his studio today. We're going to get like a behind-the-scenes sneak peek look at all the new stuff he's got going on at his studio, and you're going to enjoy to see what he has going on there. Pretty amazing stuff for you folks. Definitely, they're down in Florida, and for those of you that want to do stuff online, kind of like what I'm doing right here, I don't have to press any buttons. I'm not doing anything right now because he's doing it all for me. What a blessing. So I'm so glad to have him here today with us today. We'll talk a little bit more about that here shortly. Today, we're going to be digging into something called the Enneagram. It is a circle and a bunch of lines all through it and stuff. We're going to discuss what that looks like. And we're going to discuss, there it is. There's a good thing that he showed us the slide. And we'll go around that slide together a little bit today. Also, I want to talk to you about something I'm really excited about, which is the Matt Chat Palooza. Matt Chat Palooza is a combination of some amazing people. We'll talk about them in just a moment, and we'll share a link with you to be able to find out how to get in touch with them and how to watch their episodes and a whole bunch more. So welcome again to another episode. Today is March 24th. March 24th, the year 2021. March 24th, 2021. Can you believe it, folks? Here we are, already a quarter of the way through 2021. How is it going for you? So welcome again. Thank you for being here for another episode here at Matt Chat Live. Typically we have a guest, and if you'd like to be a guest on the show here at Matt Chat Live, we'd love to have you. I have a bunch of folks lined up for that, but I want to do something special today with, I've been working on the trauma series, and I wanted to dig into this product here, the Enneagram, together, and share some things with you about Elio and his studio, and what he's got going on there, because I thought it would be important to share that with you as well. So with all that, let's dig into what we've got going on for today. Welcome. Hello, Elio. How are you over there today, bud?
Hey, I am doing great, Matt. Thank you so much for having me. I'm here at the little square.
You're the little square. He's a little square. He's not square. He's just in the little square. So you've been pretty busy. Last week on Wednesday, you had another great event there at your location. You had like a grand reopening of some things. Tell us what happened there.
Well, basically, I am part of the Chamber of Commerce here in North Central Florida, where I live, and I was honored to have my Chamber of Commerce family coming out. We did the official grand opening, the ribbon cutting, and all of that with my sponsor, my partners, and a group number of community leaders. It was exciting.
Yeah, that's a big accomplishment. And for those of you that may have been able to watch 2 weeks ago episode, the first one that he and I did together, we really got to dig into Elio's past and things he's been through. And for those of you that don't know, real quickly, I mean, he's originally from Cuba, and he is been in the United States now for 9 years. And he's gone from living in communist-run, Cuba, beautiful place, but obviously, not great politics there.
Yes.
But he was able to come here without knowing any English, United States, and today here we are, 9 years later, from Cuba to the United States. We're inside of this man's studio. This isn't all that he does. I mean, he's a DJ, does all that kind of stuff too, but this is a big deal here. And to see what you're about to, just to see some of the stuff you've got, I'm so excited for you. I just think it's so amazing how one of the things you said was they said, hey, look, there's nobody's here anymore. They've all gone to LA, they've gone to Nashville, all the other places. Nobody's here doing this stuff. And you thought, well, great. That means nobody's doing it. I can do it. And I'll probably be the only guy in town. I can knock this thing out now, right? So,
Yes.
so excited. So if you wouldn't mind, I think you're able to now, right? Maybe you can kind of give us a little tour of the shop and show us what's going on.
Are you guys ready?
Oh yeah!
Let's go, baby! All right.
He's a percussionist.
All right, so guys, this is the Fiesta Media in North Florida. So this is Studio 8. As you can see, Studio 8 is where we do the chroma key effect with green screen. It is awesome. Let me go closer a little bit. The clients can have up to 4 speakers here, and we have look soundproof. We have preview scenes on the monitors. These big monitors is what they are gonna have online on Facebook and YouTube. So basically, the lights are off because I don't wanna be too bright for you, but there's a lot of lighting here. This is my one of my main. We have multiple production desk. This is the number one, Studio 8. Some of my sponsors, Maudolo, shout out to them. Um, okay, so this is the living room. The living room, the waiting room, whatever. And
The
also,
living waiting room.
it becomes a set sometimes as well. So now, let's go to a room that has become really popular lately, which is the Blue Room. This room was designed for, just to have like a traditional look of podcast. I'm gonna start the lighting remotely, and you can see lighting is perfect. It's so gorgeous here, and we have, all these amazing microphones, all the system already set up. So our clients have multiple choices. They have the traditional podcast, the talk show style. They have it all. Because you at the Pizza Media, you can have it all. So now I'm gonna turn the lights. I'm gonna turn the lights off, and you can see now it looks like a nightclub. so, so let's go to Studio B, because that's Studio C. Really quick, Studio B, it is like this. We're actually changing the roof, but that wall, it is all monitors. It is like a TV station. We have another desk production here that we are able to do multi-level marketing, international conference, you name it. Whatever you may think of, educational programs, tutorial, online courses, webinars, we can do it all here. So I really hope that you guys enjoy the tour. I don't want to take more of the time because Matt has a great show for you guys.
Man, so excited. Elio, thank you for sharing that with us. And if you are in that area of Florida, where's your main city again?
It is Gainesville, Florida. I am in North Central Florida.
Yeah, Gainesville. So if you're in the Gainesville area, in that area regionally, locally, obviously it's a great place for you to connect with, to have some really great production. But then, of course, I'm in North Carolina. So you can do stuff remotely or virtually like we're doing now. So you might just want to give him a shout, ask him what he can do for you, because I guarantee he can. So thank you, Elio, for being the sponsor here with Go, and excited for you too. All right, so let's dig into a couple of things. Let's first talk about the Palooza. We did Matt Chat Palooza. I put that out yesterday, and you'll see this graphic to my side here, to my left side of the screen. And there are several people here that are all amazing people, and I wanted to have an opportunity to share with everybody, a group opportunity, because there's so many different types of folks on this Palooza that'll be so interesting for you. So Mahar, he lives in Canada now, but he moved from another country to Canada, spent almost a year as a job seeker before he got his dream role as an HR guy. He was HR before, and then he had to wait for almost a year while he relocated to Canada, and now he's doing very well, and he does a lot of work to help other people. He has his own show, does his own podcast on YouTube now as well. Lisa Williams, I've had her on the show before. She's doing a Friday show now. She's got several other things she does. She's really an awesome woman. She does a lot of marketing. She's a marketing genius, and she does all kinds of shows relative to marketing. So we talked about that and the launch of her new show. You've got Brian down there below her on the side. He is in Canada as well, another Canadian. He's really an incredible guy. He was a priest. Then he decided to go from priesthood to the business world, from business world to moving from the United States to Canada, where he has his own business there now as well. He does some amazing work there. You can find out about him and his business there. Evolution. Dr. Dan, you see Dr. Dan up there, great guy. And the doctor is in. Let me tell you about Dr. Dan. He does a lot of work when it comes down to technology stuff that can just make me have a headache. but the man, he's got more degrees than a thermometer. So you want to make sure you contact Dr. Dan. Check out his stuff. Thank you. I knew that was going to come eventually. I didn't have that scripted out. I should have had him know that. He should have had the drum roll ready. There we go. So Dr. Dan's a great guy, and you get a chance to check out some of the things he does. Way more than just technology. You'll find out what he does. Another guy down here, Tolik Bortz, and Tolik and his wife are very passionate. They have a nonprofit organization. Originally, they started making face masks for their community using like old jerseys and whatnot. They're big hockey fans. And the Rangers are the hockey team there that they like in New York. And they were making these face masks and distributing to people. And eventually the Rangers found out about it. And guess what? You got it. They started making the masks for the New York Rangers, which was amazing. In the midst of that time, he had a passion and does have a passion to reach his community and really to spread out throughout the world. He wants to reach kids and provide opportunities for people to have places for sports where they can do sports intramurals, recreation, tutoring, all kinds of things that they do at their website. So you can go to his website, altruit.com. It's on the Palooza page. You'll be able to click on it there. I might have just said it wrong. I'm sorry, totally. But you can go there and find out about that. And if you're in the Albany, New York area, they've received a bunch of used sports equipment to distribute for the kids. But they had so much come in, they don't have any place to put it anymore. Their house is packed out with stuff, and they are in desperate need of warehouse space. So if you happen to be in the Albany, New York area, and you happen to have access to any warehouse space, I know they'd be grateful. Again, it's a nonprofit organization, so you could even donate that and use it as a tax write-off and make a huge difference in that entire community as well to help them store that equipment as they distribute to schools and kids here in the upcoming season. Jason Osborne. Ooh, there's a lot of folks, buddy. This is awesome. And I can't believe I'm going without a script. I have a horrible memory, and I'm doing good so far. All right, Jason, thank you. Jason Osborne. He's over in the UK, originally from the United States. But Jason's focus is marketing and specifically with LinkedIn. And he's a fantastic LinkedIn coach and marketer. And he's got a great podcast that he does, and he offers some incredible opportunities to help scale what you're doing. If you're on LinkedIn, like I am, I think you'd enjoy talking to Jason for sure, and make sure you tune into his episode. Angel Rebo down there, he's an amazing man. He is a worker he's a worker. Are we all workers? He's a guy who works with CEOs, and he's been working specifically with CEOs for a long time, that he is now a CEO confidant. He's the kind of guy that they just feel like they can talk to, like they can just open up and share things with him. And that's really his passion and his call. So he's been working with CEOs for a long time. He's got incredible organization, and you can read all about him and watch his episode at the Palooza page. Next one would be Angel. Angel's a fantastic lady. Now I'll tell you about her. I'm sorry, not Angel, but Susan. I was looking at Angel. Susan, what I meant to talk about her is she is a fantastic woman who really has a heart and a passion for moms and kids. And knowing that she's come from an area where she understands what it's like to be a single mom, knowing what it's like to have to work on a budget, and you see all these people out there that can help you, but their price tags are just unrealistic. There's no way in that type of situation can happen. When you're trying to take care of your kids, you're a single mom, you can barely make ends meet, and you need help, and you're trying to find ways to get some help. Well, that's what Susan does, and she's passionate about helping people that need that help. And she is not the type of gal that runs a high-ticket agency. She tries to keep it within the margins of what somebody who's on a fixed budget can really afford. And that's what she loves to do. And that's really, really an amazing thing. So we talked about that on her show. Then you've got this other guy in his left-hand corner. I don't know if you know who he is. His name's Elio Piedra. And he is the guy we were just talking to a moment ago. That's right. And by the way, he's a musician. He's not just any musician. He's an incredible musician. He is a trained artist, and he's worked in the concerts, right? So it was... what was the exact title? What you did back then? The degree.
I have a master from the National Conservatory in Cuba in composition and percussion.
Composition and percussion. That's right. And he's been able to do work teaching. He was working at local churches. He's working at Guitar Center as a teacher, and of course he's an artist, musician, and a DJ as well. So he gets to use those talents a lot. So if you happen to need somebody to play the congos and bongos while doing your show, he's probably the guy. And then you got Arman up here, Arman. All right, Arman. I can't remember how I said it right. I said it wrong last time, but he's a marketing guy as well. And he has a really credible firm. He works with little people like, Grant Cardone and some of those guys there. So he's done some work for them specifically. And what's really cool about him is he has some incredible knowledge about how to help you scale and come up with some great plans to get your branding out there and be heard. So he's got a great program, great information. You can find out all about him at the Palooza. You can watch his episode there too. All right, moving up the chain, we got Ava. Let me tell you about Ava. Ava was one of the most fun shows I've done in a long time because Ava is a pole dancer. That's right, a pole dancer. So we did a whole episode about pole dancing on Matt Chat Live. Elio was busy that day. I think he had another pole dancing job somewhere else. But that day, Ava and I were on the video, and she was doing her thing. So pretty amazing. Now, let me tell you what. She's an incredible girl. Extremely smart. She works at a software company by the day, and she does some pole dancing by night. And her story starts where she really wanted to dance. She was really trying to learn how to do some more expression of herself, to be a little more out there. You're really out there when you're pole dancing. So she learned how to do that. Now, we're not talking about nasty stuff pole dancing, right? We're talking about, I don't know if you've seen some of these people that go on poles. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Elio, where people go on these poles and like they go like at a 90-degree angle. They're like this. They stick way out, and I have no idea how you can do it. I couldn't even think about doing that. It hurts just to watch. Some amazing work that's done there. And she shares part of her story. And because of the confidence and some of the things that she was really trying to accomplish in her own life, she's able to share with you some of the things that has helped her to do in her life, being able to relate to other people, to be expressive, and to share her heart with folks. Because this is it felt like a really personal thing. And now she's able to put it out there for the world to see. It was a big deal. So you'll love to watch that episode. Tune in and watch her show on the Matt Chat Palooza. All right, Ian here on the left and the orange behind. I like her colors. She's got that orange going on there. So she is Ian Price Murphy, and she is a bookkeeper. How exciting, right? Way exciting. Let me tell you why. She's more than just a bookkeeper. She's more than just a CPA. She is really passionate about helping folks specifically that might be, maybe you're somebody who is a small business, you're doing your own work, and you've got somebody handling your books. They're doing your QuickBooks. They're doing your Quicken stuff, whatever you're using for your software there at your offices. And you think everything's okay. You trust the person. You think they're all right, but you just really don't know if everything's exactly the way it should be. Maybe the person's a really great bookkeeper, but they don't know how to forecast certain things. They don't know how to plan with you what your future looks like 3 to 5 years from now with your business, how to change some things around and move the spending from here to here. Like for me as a small business owner, I knew when I had my retail location, if you don't have it, people ain't buying it. So I had a lot of stock, and I would love to get things in all the time for people to see and buy. And sometimes I'd get calls from vendors and they'd have this amazing sale and I would have hardly any money, and I would buy the stuff because I thought I had to have it. And sometimes we get so attached to our businesses that we don't make good decisions, like me. So one of the things she does is she comes in and lays down the hammer, says, you know what, here's where some things are off. And here's where you think you have no money. I just found $5,000 a month that you have in your business that you could have for yourself if you stop doing this, this, and this. So she's a fantastic voice, has a great business, and she's really, really great voice for you to hear. So I think I caught everybody on that page. So I have a link for you that should be in the comment section. Okay. The link's up, and you guys could click on that link, and you can go to the event page on LinkedIn, which is actually an article that I wrote. And inside the article, there is a little bit of information with each person's picture. And you can click on their profile pic at LinkedIn. You could get to their website, and you could watch their episode of Matt Chat Live that is on YouTube right? So some of them are on LinkedIn and YouTube, but I put the YouTube link there because it'd probably just be easier for everybody. So that's all on there. And you can go to the Palooza and Palooza around. There's so many different varieties of things on that Palooza that you're going to have a chance to dig into when it comes down to HR, marketing, behind back end stuff for your business, personal branding, personal development. There's so many different things to look at in that Palooza. I hope that it will be a helpful tool to you. I really hope that you'll reach out to each one of those people, connect with them on LinkedIn if you're on LinkedIn, and tell them thanks for what they do, and tell them thanks for being on Matt Chat Live. So that's the Matt Chat Palooza. Again, hit that link. I've got a bit.ly.com/Matt Chat Palooza, I think is what it says. And you can click on that and go right to where you're supposed to go on LinkedIn, and then you could click away and watch away. You got, I don't know, 8 hours worth of me and somebody else. You know you want that. More of Matt. We want more of Matt. Right, okay. So, all right, so that's Matt Chat Palooza. One other thing that happened that was pretty exciting for me this past week. I have over here behind me this guy. This is a 2.0 version of my book called God's Got This. I wrote God's Got This about 2 years ago. It's been on Amazon and available for purchase, and we've sold a bunch of copies over the past couple of years. I'm so grateful. Yeah, guess what? Last week we hit #1 bestseller, got #1 bestseller in 3 categories. I'm super excited, super excited. So thank you very much. So the book has been available for sale the whole time. We moved it to an ebook format because I've been trying to get the ebook out for a long time. Finally got it all worked out, put the ebook out. Thank you to my friend Steve Kidd and Thriving Bestsellers to help me to get that taken care of. We now have that ebook available, and we had one period of 24 hours where we gave the book away for free. It's now back up for sale. It was for sale prior and after, but just for that 24-hour period of time, we'd put it up for free for people to have. So between prior sales, between that day's sale, which was free, obviously, and then back to where it's at again for sale, we made #1 bestseller. Now, obviously, we could stay #1 bestseller if everybody kept buying it, but I haven't really been pushing it that hard. But we are still listed as bestseller on Amazon. Because we're still in the top 100, still after all that happened. So I am so grateful to everybody who has been purchasing the book, who was able to take advantage of grabbing it for free that day in ebook version, and then now back still to print and the ebook now, which is on Kindle and available for download to your other devices when you go to Amazon. So you can go to Amazon.com, check out Matt Crump, and you'll find either my ebook there or you'll find the print copy. So that is there. I'm so grateful to say I'm #1 bestseller. It only took 2 years, but hey, that's all right. I'm good. So we'll have the 2.0 version coming out pretty soon. I'm going to make some changes. Thank you very much. I'm going to make a few changes, do some updates to the book, because obviously there's a few things that happened in my life in the past couple of years, and I would love to do another spin on God's Got This. I do have another book coming out here shortly called Success Begins on the Inside. That'll be coming out to you, I don't know when, sometime soon. I've been saying it's coming out forever. It's done. I just have to finish editing it, and then I'll put it out there. But anyway, that'll be coming soon. All right, so let's jump into, we've been on for almost half an hour now, so I'm going to make this not too long. I want to get into a brief overview of the Enneagram with you today, and let's dig into what it is that I wanted to share with you about this crazy thing called the Enneagram. All right, so not just a telegram, not I don't know what grams, but not Billy Graham, but Enneagram and you. All right, so Enneagram is one of many ways to really dig into your own life personally, and of course, when you do examinations of your business, corporation, there's lots of ways to utilize this tool. But the past I guess maybe the past couple of months, I've been focusing on trauma on LinkedIn. And I have a series now of about 7 videos in the series on trauma. And I guess, we'll edit this one up, and part of this will be in video number 8, I reckon, for adding in the Enneagram to our trauma series. Here's the deal. Trauma is real. It is hard, and it is not easy to overcome. Trauma can be like your silent partner. Trauma can be there at times when you don't even know trauma is there. There's things that could have happened to you as a child or a teenager, and our minds could go to the most extreme. There's some bad things you can think that would happen to a child when they're, having a traumatic scenario. But it could be not even molestation or sexual. It could be that they saw something, maybe a bad accident and somebody was killed, or somebody got really loud and obnoxious and horrible sounding and vicious towards someone, and it scared the child traumatically, right? And then it could come down to maybe in your teenage years, some things happen with you. Maybe, who knows? The traumas are like crazy. So there's all kinds of things out there. So let's say you fast forward 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and it's something that maybe you don't think about every day, but there are things that trigger our traumas. There's things that we can smell or see or hear that may remind us. And what happens then is in our brains, we have this area of our brain, the Broca side of our brain, and we have this little tiny thing like an almond in the middle of our brain towards the front here, in the middle side, and it is responsible for this fight or flight. And when that's triggered, it causes all kinds of things to happen. So for folks, let's say, for example, I can tell you something about pictures in our minds. So imagine this. Imagine that you're starving. It's been a long day and you come home from work and you're walking in the door. And as you're walking in the door, you can smell it. It's this hot, beautiful pizza just sitting on the counter waiting for you to come in, and you can smell it. Your mouth is watering. You open up the lid and you look, and the cheese is melted. The crust is just perfectly brown and just the right thickness, and it's got the exact toppings on there that you want. It is ready to go in your mouth, right? Can you see it? Can you taste it? Can you imagine it, right? So that is an area of your brain that is reminding you of things that you've already experienced and seen. It's just pictures, it's images and thoughts, right? Pretty powerful. Well, when it comes down to trauma, when it comes down to the Broca side of the brain, and when the amygdala really kicks in, that fight or flight area with the amygdala, it's not just that you have a picture of something that you're seeing. You are transported to that location, and you are there live. Whatever happened that was traumatic, you are experiencing it right now live. When there's a smell, a sound, a taste, a touch, something happens. That's what happens for people that are experiencing trauma in their lives. So people in the military, PTSD, abuse victims. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can talk about when it comes down to trauma. And it triggers. So it's not an easy thing to overcome. And sometimes we don't know that we have a problem with it. And it causes problems in our relationships. It could be that you have relational issues with your spouse, and maybe your spouse does a certain gesture or looks a certain way or says a certain thing, doesn't mean anything towards you about it, and you receive it a certain way because of this traumatic experience. So we've been talking about many ways to help overcome some of the traumas that you might be facing in your own life. Now, obviously, I'm not here offering you a professional doctoral service, and we're not a psychiatrist office that's open up here for business right now. But what I am doing is sharing with you information that is life-changing, and things can help point you in the right direction. All right. So if you want to watch that trauma series, message me here at LinkedIn, and we'll be happy to send you links to all the shows, and you can catch up with that soon. So today I want to jump into a little bit to Enneagram and tell you what that's about. So Enneagram, in our first slide we've got there, it talks about two root words here for Ennea and Gram. So Ennea stands for 9 in the Greek, and Gram stands for drawing, like a diagram, right? So you've got Ennea and Gram. So you've got the Greek side, Ennea, and Gram, the drawing, right? So that offers us 9 different personality types. Either are you able to pull that one up for me, bud? I think it would be slide. Okay, so there's the first part we just talked about, which says the Ennea stands for 9 in Greek and the Gram. So here's where we're at now. We're moving into these 9 areas, all right? So they are, as you can see right here, number 1 in this diagram is the worker. Number 2 is helper. Number 3, motivator. 4 is individualist. 5, this is the points of the stars, I'll show you in just a second, is observer. 6 is networker. 7 is a visionary. 8 is an activator, and 9 is universalist. Universalist. That's the synopsis behind the Enneagram. But this is that circle and the lines inside of it, creating all these connection points. All right. So there's basically 9 things that are split into groups of 3, which are centers of intelligence. So the groups are they're instinctual, or they're like the gut center, like 8, 9, and 1. The emotional or heart center, 2, 3, and 4. And mental and thinking center, 5, 6, and 7. I'm throwing a lot at you, but we're going to dig into it over the next couple of shows, and we'll really get to where we need to be this. So the heart center is based on feelings. I think probably we can pull up the next slide. I might get to that diagram that might be, yeah, there we go. I don't know if it's possible to, is it possible to zoom in a little bit on the number 1 thing there? Or is that all we got, Elio? Just the slide? Woo, there we go. We can zoom in good because you can take me off. All right, so let's look at this together. Number 1, we originally talked about these areas. Oh, nice. Thanks, brother. Worker, helper, motivator, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so number 1, worker, you got the perfectionists or the reformer. All right, so perfectionism, definitely not a great thing. There's nothing wrong with striving for perfection. But when perfection is all you've got and you never have room for excellence because there's no space to fail, it causes big problems. When you look at the diagram, you move along to number 2, you've got the helper or the giver, somebody who's willing to be a helper, somebody who's willing to be a giver. Number 3 is the achiever, right? So I said motivator. So you got a motivator, somebody who's achiever, somebody who's a performer, somebody who's really helped to motivate you on things of life. Number 4, you got this individualist or romantic type of person. It's an individualist, right? Somebody who's really focused on themselves and to be able to help other people, like romantic about things, like I'm a painter, and sometimes painters can be quite introverted because they like to do their things and be alone and don't mess with me while I'm painting, right? So but when they're done, it's a beautiful piece of art and people get to share around the world. It's an amazing thing that inspires people. All right, number 5 is observer. You got this little guy down there with a beard who's an observer. And on here it says investigator observer. So somebody who likes to really dig into things, check things out, and observe things. Does that sound like you? Right. Number 6 is networker. We got a lot of that going on in social media. So this is a networker person, a loyal skeptic. This one says here in this diagram that I thought was pretty fun. I found this one on download from a site here online. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Number 7 says here the enthusiast or the epicure. So number 7 here in mine is visionary. Somebody who's a visionary, somebody who can forecast, who's looking out, somebody who's a big dreamer. Number 8 is somebody who, again, is an activator, someone who's a leader, someone who's going to make something happen. It's no longer just ideas, but we're putting these ideas to action. And then the 9th point in this gram, the Enneagram, peacemaker, or the mediator, or universalist, as some would say. So there are several different points on this diagram, this Enneagram, that are used in several different ways. There's a couple of tests out there you can take, but the 9-point symbol represents the personal types that are on this Enneagram and how they relate to each other. So let's say you are working in a building, and you've got Bob at one desk and Sally at another and Fred at another, and they're all different. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong. They're just different people. But if you knew the type that they were, there's lots of tests out there. We all know what they are, right? But this is just another one of them that's really cool. When you get to really into the details of understanding who somebody is, how they function, how they operate, it makes things easier for communication. So when you can really understand not just that you know that this person likes certain food, or they dress a certain way, or they have a certain kind of car, I mean, whatever, all that kind of stuff you can know that's kind of superficial or just generic information. But to actually understand how a person works and flows makes a big difference in how we're able to communicate with one another and effectively communicate with one another to find better ways to accomplish our goals. What does this have to do with trauma? Well, it has a lot to do with trauma. It has to do with the fact that sometimes there's ways that we say or do things that could cause problems for somebody else when we don't even know that it could be causing a problem. But when you understand certain things about persons' personalities and the way that they can receive and perceive things, it does make a big, big difference. So those basics are like I told you, they're split into several different areas. The gut center is based on the body, which means a desire to action. The heart center is based on feelings, which is what other people focus on, their needs or attempts to affect others positively. Thinking center is based on thoughts, which focus on the insight world of ideas. So another Enneagram type comes in each Enneagram type. There's several different ways to do this, but some people have traits of several places on the diagram, the Enneagram. And you may find that there's some ways that you find things about yourself that you, one, maybe you didn't know, or two, you knew and you don't really want to tell anybody about, right? So you might find out there's some things you know about yourself that make it easier for you to understand some things about you. Because sometimes we get stuck in a rut. Sometimes we put stuff into autopilot and we just cruise. And we are not aware of some of the things that we're doing in our own lives, especially when they could cause problems or could create incredible opportunities for somebody else. All right. So there's intersecting lines in there. There's ways that we intersect with people in lives. So maybe there's places that you're a different person, but there might be some intersection points. So maybe you think you don't have something in common with somebody. There's no way we can communicate. There's no way we can get along, but maybe there are some intersecting places, some intersecting lines that can create opportunity for growth between two people, two businesses, relationships, however you would place that. So this is where some of that EQ, emotional intelligence, comes into play. And a lot of my friends that are in the EQ world, they know all about this. Teresa Quinlan, who I've had on Matt Chat Live in the past, she's incredible. And she talks about EQ a lot. If you like to get in touch with her, go back and check out the episode with her on it as well. All right. So when we do stuff like using tools of this nature, it's a new approach for leadership development, personal emotional intelligence, communication skills. It gives us a clearer way of viewing ourselves, our personalities, as well as ways that we handle situations. It puts a stop to your own assumptions about yourself. Enneagram is now widely used in business industries, psychotherapy, and even for spiritual use. It's a lot of Eastern spiritual stuff meets psychotherapy, mixed together into some great tools that help people to really dig into some other areas of their life. All right, so I want to stop there. This is an overarching view today of what the Enneagram is, and I will start digging into that a bit more over the next few weeks through some of my videos on LinkedIn, as well as some of the content we'll be providing here on Matt Chat Live, because it's a deep subject. But I think it's one that's important to focus on. So probably the next time we'll deal into the 4 elements of consciousness. We'll deal with 4 elements of consciousness, what you're consciously aware of in your own life. That's a lot to dig into. That's a lot to think about, right? So I wonder, I think looking at this list, I'm looking at that one deal. So Elio, if you pull up that star, the number 4 slide again, and if you get a chance to look at that yourself, what do you think you're more like on that list there? You've got somebody who's a perfectionist or a former, helper and giver, achiever, individualist,
I think
investigator.
I am a couple. I think I am enthusiastic, and I think I am an achiever too. Perfectionist maybe, but sometimes we gotta take risk, and by taking risk, the perfection kind of like goes
Yeah, it doesn't
away a
work
little
for
bit.
perfectionists. They're not big risk takers.
Yeah,
I think you're a
exactly.
little bit of number 5 too, like investigator, observer. I think that's part of what you do for your business and stuff too.
Yeah, because I like interacting and working with people and making it happen for everybody. So I will say like also like like no helper, but there is another one that is the one that I don't know, philanthropist. Do you have it?
Yeah, it's like the leader, that type of person, right? Number 8, I think that's one.
Yeah, I try to be and to help and as much as I can.
Yeah, and that's number 2, the helper over there. So there's lots of things. It's really easy to look at this and see how really at some point in our lives we could probably fit into any one of those categories. But then there are some key times in our life, some key places where we really function a lot in, right? So there is a test that you can take that I'm going to put on here for the next time that we can work on together. but there's a test you'll be able to take. Maybe I'll send that test to Elio. He and I will do it ourselves, and we'll go over some of our results and check it out. Maybe our next guest will be on the show. We'll have them do it too. Be kind of fun to kind of see what those results are. I'll send it to you, Elio, so you can do the test and get some results and find out what your types are like. That'd be kind of interesting. Yeah. All right, so that's enough about the Enneagram today. So I just wanted to remind you again about a bunch of things that we've been doing. But before we do that, I want to say thank you to one of our sponsors here at Matt Chat Live. One of our sponsors is my friend Danny Shannon, who runs and owns Encapsulator.io. Is based in Australia. And, of course, it's anywhere in the world because you can access it through the internet on Encapsulator.io. So here's a little bit about Encapsulator. Yeah, so what's really cool about Encapsulator is it is a video time vault platform. Video what? Video time vault platform. So Danny, who is a recovering drug addict and now works at a rehab facility, he started his own business called Encapsulator, and he was just working on ways to express some of the things about his life and his journey. And in that process, he kind of thought about this model that he created. And now you have a chance to go in and say, today I want to do a video and say I want to talk about my future goals for 3 years from now. And I want to do this, this, and this, and this. And I would do this video to myself, tell me all the things I'm expecting to do, what I want to achieve, and I'll see you in 3 years. You do the video, it locks in the vault, and you can't open it for 3 years. And 3 years later, you come back and you press play, and you watch to see what you said to yourself 3 years ago and where you're at now and what that really means to you. So the whole system works that way. You'll be alerted when it's time for your vault to open. There's lots of ways you can do this. Now, there's people that are using it inside of their businesses for training. So when you have a lot of teamwork together, they have things where you can do different types of tasks and different types of videos that are possible to do inside of Encapsulator that are proving to be very effective for setting goals and achieving goals inside of businesses. So there's a lot of different ways to think about using it. I've used it myself. I did a couple of videos with myself and my son, and we put a few things in there that we're going to come back to at a later date and see what it was we said then to where we're at now. So a lot of times you'll even forget what you said. It's pretty amazing, right? Unless it's some big deal, but sometimes there's things in there you want to do. Maybe you like to journal, and you like to, maybe you're not a big writer, but you've got a few minutes to sit down, press play, and or record rather, and make your journal and close it up, and then you're done. And maybe you come back every year and you go through and look at some of those things you recorded. There's lots of ways that you could use Encapsulator that's a benefit to you and your family, so, and your business. So find that over at Encapsulator, Encapsulator.io. And I want to thank Danny Shannon and Encapsulator for being a sponsor here of Matt Chat Live. If you'd like to be a sponsor as well on the show, feel free to reach out to me here at LinkedIn. You can DM me, or if you're on Facebook, you can message me at Facebook as well, or you can find me at this website that I've got right here, mattcrump.tv, and we'd be happy to get back with you. Just hit us up on the contact page and tell us you're interested in being a sponsor of Matt Chat Live. That's a lot of talking for today. I think I'm going to wrap it up. We went and covered a lot of territory today, and I'm so grateful for Elio taking time to be with me today, and I'm glad we got to look around the studio. Congratulations to you last week, my friend, on such a big accomplishment. Yeah, man, it's amazing. And I know you're not even done yet. You still got other things you're going to do. It's just going to be great. So I'm excited for you. And again, folks, if you're in the Gainesville, Georgia area and you need some help locally with podcasts or doing meetings or virtual events, webinars, seminars, anything like that. Not to mention, he also has a business where he can help do DJ work for you for events, workshops, weddings.
In Gainesville, Florida. In Florida.
Gainesville, did I say something different?
You said Georgia.
Oh, man, there's a Gainesville, Georgia. Sorry, Gainesville, Florida. That's right. So if you're in that Florida area, you make sure you stop by and say hello to him. And you can find Elio. Now, he's got a couple of websites. He's got his own website. Fiesta Media has a website too, yeah?
Yes, the fiestamedia.com.
Right? It's the Fiesta.
Yes.
thefiestamedia.com. Of course, you want to go to the Fiesta. That's where the party's at. So thefiestamedia.com, and they'll take care of you as well. All right, so that's about it for another episode of Matt Chat Live. Here we are again, March 24th, 2021. Almost done with March, headed to April. Springtime is here. Springtime's here. All right, so here's the deal. All right, we're here every Wednesday at 5 p.m., and coming up here in just a little while this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and 11 a.m. Thursday in Australia. Yep, it's all at the same time. You will be able to jump in with us on Clubhouse for our show, Let's Get Naked. And it's not exactly what you think. It's a show that is making a big, big difference in a lot of people's lives. And we're very, very excited to be able to see what has been happening there. And you'd love to come and be a part too, I guarantee you. For people that have been dealing with doubt, fear, lack, imposter syndrome, manipulation versus influential work, right? There's all kinds of things around being in social media and working from platforms that can cause issues in our lives. So here's a little bit about that right now. We've got this video he's pulling up here. That's right. Always be prepared, because you never know when you're going to have some diarrhea. Oh, Lord have mercy. Sometimes life gets messy. So we're going to talk about that here on LinkedIn on Let's Get Naked. Tonight specifically, we are still digging into time management, and we're talking about the value of time and how you value your time and what you do with it. And we've got a lot of interesting perspectives on that tonight. We've got some incredible co-hosts, Ira Bowman. Let's see, Ayla's going to be on tonight. We've got Ayla. Oh, Justine, my great friend Justine, we just met within the past month. She's in Australia as well. She's amazing. I can't wait for you to meet her tonight. So again, if you're on Clubhouse, look for the room Let's Get Naked. It's at 7 p.m. You can also go to LinkedIn to our event page, and you can click on the link there. And while we're on the air for Clubhouse, you can be on live with us at LinkedIn on the chat side on the event page, and we interact with each other there as well. Lots of ways to be connected. All right, so that's it. That's a wrap up for another day here of Matt Chat Live. And we will see you again, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise next time on Matt Chat Live. God bless you, folks. Thanks so much.